Hi, welcome back to part 3 of the world's rarest colors. If you're new here, first of all, hi, welcome, glad you're here, and let me catch you up. Throughout history, there have been many paint colors that have been lost to time. Colors that we in the modern day, including myself, have never even seen or heard of before. And as you're about to see, there's a few reasons for these colors fading out. To be fair, it's mostly arsenic, but there's many reasons. For example, maybe the paint was made with incredibly impossible to get ingredients. Maybe it was incredibly toxic to humans. Or maybe, as you're about to see, they might have been explosives. And some of these colors do still technically exist today, but because they're created with synthetic lab-created pigments, we're never truly going to see the true authentic color of the ingredients that it was originally made with. And so, because of all those reasons, they have been lost to history, and it's quite sad really that we in the modern day are never going to see those colors ever again. Until today. In 2019, I happened to stumble across an artist/eBay seller, and not only does he deeply study these paints, but he actually gets the ingredients from these super crazy rare paints. Like for example, there's that picture of him literally working with arsenic to recreate one of the colors. To say he's dedicated is an understatement. And once he makes these rare, precious paints and gets the colors of them, he actually recreates them synthetically, color matches to an absolute T of the original version, and makes them available and safe for us artists in the modern day to use. At this point in time, he has a whole entire line of historical colors that you can buy, all of which I have done a video on and shared their history. And recently he's came out with 5 more, which I have gladly purchased. They finally came in the mail yesterday, so all I can say is sit down, buckle up, get ready. We're about to see colors that neither you or I have ever seen before. Well, I'm assuming you've never seen some of these colors before. Maybe you've killed somebody with arsenic before. I don't know your life, but I'm gonna assume that a mass majority of you have never seen some of these colors. Okay, I'm trying to make this look really aesthetic with like the palm leaves, but I feel like it's just kind of getting in the way. Just know I tried. Just know I tried. All right, so the first color that we have here is called
Realgar.
Now this color is very special because before the 20th century, before we had synthetic orange, Realgar was the only way to get a vibrant, pure orange in your paintings. And throughout history, you'll see this color a lot. It's such a gorgeous orange color. But the problem with Realgar is that it's made from a highly toxic substance called arsenic. Now, as I've talked about many times throughout this video series, arsenic is a very highly toxic chemical. If you somehow manage to get this inside of your body, it'll basically stop your cardiovascular system, and all your major organs will go into failure. And not just that, but throughout history, Realgar was actually used as an explosive. And most disturbing of all, Realgar is so toxic that it actually removes hair from your skin. And even in modern day, you can still find tutorials on how to use Realgar to get rid of hair. But luckily we don't have to worry about that because I have the synthetic version here today. Wow, it's absolutely stunning. To be quite honest with you, it's kind of like a perfect pumpkin orange, if that makes sense. It's a little bit richer, it's a little bit darker than a normal orange, but it's still absolutely beautiful. Let's see what it looks like thinned out. Oh wow, it's so pretty. It has a very natural color to it. It doesn't look like very like bam in your face kind of orange, like a neon orange. It just looks like a perfect natural orange. Now, as always, I'm gonna compare this color with colors that I have in my collection, starting with orange. Now, right off the bat, it just looks synthetic compared to the Realgar. It kind of looks like a kid color, like a bright Nickelodeon kind of orange. Now I have this watercolor in the color Flesh Tint. This is Orange Yellow by RAREST. Oh yeah, this one kind of looks like it. And lastly, let's try out this marker. This is Orange by Ohuhu. I don't know, I just thought I'd try it out. Again, you know what I'm gonna say, it's missing like that almost brown earthy tone that we get from the Realgar. I can see why this was such a special color. Anything that's natural in orange, I would say this Realgar would be beautiful to paint with. You know, it's just absolutely beautiful. Now for this next color, I would say it's probably the least problematic of all the colors that I'm gonna show you today. This one I'm very, very excited to see, especially because of its colorful history.
No pun intended.
Now, unlike the other paints that we're working with today, this one is actually a lab-created chemical from the start. In 1907, a chemist basically mixed a bunch of chemicals with magnesium. He heated them up to a pretty high temperature, and he got manganese blue. Now, the reason I say Now, originally, this color wasn't actually very popular with the artists out there. Strangely enough, this color was very popular in construction. They would basically use this color to mix in with cement to get blue cement for swimming pools. So at this point, you're probably wondering, well, if it's so wholesome and nice,
what the heck happened to it?
And the answer to that, my friend, is that the real manganese blue was banned. And it was banned for 3 reasons. The first reason being that it just got too expensive. It got too expensive to constantly have to mine everything involved in making this paint, especially in the 1970s when there was all kinds of other synthetic blues that were deeper and better quality than this one. The second reason is that there might be some potential that this could be a carcinogen. From what I could see during research, I don't think it's ever actually killed anybody or directly led to death. And the main reason this paint was banned was actually an environmental concern. In the 1970s, people started noticing that anywhere that you had manganese blue, the surrounding crops, the water system around it, plants, all of that would be dead or very messed up. And throughout the 90s, the rest of the world just slowly faded it out of existence. Now, in modern day, surprisingly enough, there is actually a dupe for it. And this is the synthetic version, but I really had to hunt for it. And right off the bat, they kind of just look like different colors. Like, they don't look the same at all. Oh, wait. Why is this a pencil? Oh god, this isn't a paintbrush. This is a blending. I'm such an idiot. This is an eraser. And this side, you brush away the eraser particle with. I thought it was a paintbrush. And it's too late now because I have the paint on it, so.
Here we go.
Wow, this color is intense. Imagine a shade of teal that royalty would wear. That's exactly what this looks like. It's beautiful. Can you imagine this for landscapes, hair color? Like, the possibilities of this color is endless. Wow. It's so pretty. It is a little hard to thin out, I will say that, but I don't mind. It's so pretty and so vibrant. I really hope the camera can do it justice because I don't want it to look just like a pure blue on camera. Like, this color has so much green and yellow in it. It's absolutely brilliant. Oh yeah, right off the bat, you can definitely tell that this one's drastically different. Oh, it's so blue. This is a beautiful color, I'm not gonna lie. It's really, really beautiful, but it just doesn't have like that same depth and realness that the other one does, which is a pattern that I've seen a lot throughout this video series. I don't have anything else to say besides it looks blue. Like, it just looks like a normal blue color, you know? It looks like a color that I've seen many times before. In fact, to me, I think it's gonna look a lot like phthalo blue. This one has a lot more violet in it. It doesn't have a lot of yellow and green like the original manganese blue. Not to be shady,
but to be shady,
I would say that the phthalo blue looks more closer to the original than the actual synthetic manganese blue does. And you know what, just for the heck of it, I actually have a cobalt teal here with me, and I want to show you guys how close manganese blue looks to a teal color. And what I'm about to show you is ultramarine blue mixed with teal. Out of all the colors that I think I've ever reviewed for this video series, I feel like manganese blue is probably going to be one of the hardest colors to try to dupe. All right, for this next color, it just makes me sad. Like, this color is just absolutely so depressing. This color is actually still widely available on the market today, except of course synthetic versions. I personally have seen this color, like the synthetic version, many times. I actually own quite a few of them, but I personally have never seen the true version of this. So let's check it out. And this color, of course, is, if I could ever get it open, the artist name who makes this is Ryan, and honestly, I'm gonna give him like 5,000 points for making this so well packaged. This color is called Ivory Black. Now, if you're not aware, ivory comes from a few places, all of which being animals. This includes narwhals, elk, walrus, and of course elephants and rhinoceros. And at this point, you're probably wondering, how is this paint black if ivory is white? And that is a good question. Back in the day, not only did they crush up the ivory to get the paint, but they would also get the burnt bones of the animals, crush it up, and make ivory black. So yeah, ivory in general was very popular back in the day. So let's test this bad boy out and see what's up.
Perfect.
Wow, this is incredibly dark. On camera, it probably looks pure black, and I can tell you firsthand, in real life, it looks just pure black. Let me try thinning it out a lot, and we'll see if there's any change. You can see it's really a true neutral black. It kind of reminds me of like a newspaper. That's the exact color of what it looks like. And now, as far as like looking for dupes / similarities, I have a few colors that I want to test out. First one being also Ivory Black from Winsor & Newton. Oh my god, they're very similar. Oh my gosh, wow. Actually, you know what? This one's a little less intense and it has a little bit more yellow to it. Watch, let me thin it out and you can see like it's a little bit more yellow. I don't know if you can tell literally at all on camera, but yeah, this one's a little bit more yellow, this one's a little bit more neutral. Next, I'll try out Mars Black, see if there's any difference there. Mars Black is a very intense, pure black, as you can see. Now that they're drying, they look very similar. But if I had to pick the two, I would probably go with Ryan's, just because, as you can see, it's a little bit easier to thin out. But I gotta say, they're very similar, and I gotta hand it to Ryan. He like nailed the exact color. That's pretty incredible. All right, so I saved the most dramatic one for last. This paint is absolutely nuts. And at first when I ordered on eBay, I got so excited. I was like, oh, Cinnabar, like Cinnabar Island from Pokemon. You know, where Red goes and he explores and there's Cinnabar everywhere and their music plays. Well, after I learned the history of Cinnabar, my childhood is ruined. Now, unlike every single pigment that I've showed on this video series, Cinnabar throughout history has been incredibly easy to get. It's easy to find, it's easy to make the pigment, and it makes one of the best red pigments known to man. And so throughout history, it was all over the place. And it wasn't until centuries later we learned that Cinnabar is highly toxic. But it's not just like normal toxic, no. Cinnabar contains extreme levels of mercury. And unlike the other paints that will pretty much get you immediately, that's not the case with mercury. Back in the day, mercury could be easily eaten, it could be easily breathed in, and mercury would start building up in your body and you would never know. And these symptoms, they start off very gradually, very slowly, and over a slow period, you end up getting sicker and sicker until you experience kidney failure, brain failure, and you end up in a coma. And of course, it was the ancient times, so there was no remedy, and of course, that led to death. So yeah, my childhood of Red at Cinnabar Island, having a good time, getting fire Pokemon, yeah, no, that would have
literally killed him.
What I was reading, I can't even imagine how many people died from mercury poisoning. Just because it was so widely available, because it was so versatile, you could put it in so many different things. It's absolutely crazy to think about. But again, this is the synthetic version, so let's go ahead and test this bad boy out. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. Whoa, it's so pretty. Not to be dramatic, but to be dramatic, this is literally one of the most beautiful shades of red that I have ever had the pleasure of witnessing. This one also has that beautiful, like naturally dusk, muted, earthy tone to it. Compared to synthetic colors, this is very toned down, but compared to earthy colors, this is very extra. Now, according to Wikipedia, another name for Cinnabar is also vermilion, and as a lot of you may or may not know, vermilion is still a very poppin' color. So yeah, let's see if this synthetic color is anywhere near the original version. Okay. This is an absolute perfect example of what I mean when I say the colors have been lost to time. They do look very similar, but the synthetic one is nice, but it's a little bit more brighter, it's a little bit more orange, and it's lacking the shade range of the original. And even though these two are the exact same colors, if I had to pick, I would go for the one that has a little bit more depth to it. And just to be a little extra, let's see what like a true red color looks like compared to vermilion. Do you see how bright and vibrant this color is compared to the other two? That is really, really interesting. If I'm gonna be honest here, it kind of looks like the color of red Kool-Aid. In my opinion, it doesn't look as, I guess, sophisticated as the other two, so that's kind of interesting. Now, as beautiful and perfect as these colors are on their own, I really want to see what they look like in a painting. So, I'm gonna paint now. Well, there you have it, guys. Part 3 to the rarest colors in existence. If you want to purchase any of these, I will gladly leave Ryan's eBay store down below, as well as the whole entire rare paint playlist, and also my socials and second channel. Thank you guys so much again for watching. I will see you guys next video. Bye!